What up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm J. We are locked in. This is the season finale, episode 10, The Underground Railroad. We've been waiting on it. I'm sorry it's been dragged out for a whole week. Next series, we're going to try to get that thing done in maybe 3 days. But if you remember, in episode 9, Cora and Molly, they left. Cora put a bullet in Ridgeway's head. They left my little boy Homer out there. He talking about, no! They could at least took him with them. Now, he didn't, in that little tunnel, probably going to die. But I know y'all don't want to hear about episode 9. Y'all want episode 10. So before we get into that, shout out to the notification gang. If you're new to the channel, you'll be a part of this. Hit the subscribe button, turn on your notification bell so you get something every time I upload. Hit that like button. It's the easiest thing you can do. And we rolling. Now, this is episode 10. We want to know what happened to Cora's mom. We haven't seen or heard from her since episode 1, and which was glimpses. So I'm not going to hold y'all up. Let's jump into it. This is episode 10, The Underground Railroad. We start the episode off with Mabel, Cora's mom. I'm so used to calling her Cora's mom, but Mabel, she's actually helping the lady that's pregnant. Now, they're out in the field working because they didn't care how pregnant you were. Your ass was working. It didn't matter at all. But she's out there because this girl, contractions are coming. It's time to, I got to get up out this field. I got some babies up in me. Now, they take her back to her cabin. She's in there, she's pushing and pushing, she's trying to get this baby out of her, but it turns out the baby is a stillborn. Now, Moses is her husband, and he comes in and he sees the baby. And of course, anyone that has a baby that's stillborn or premature, it's always going to be a toll on you. So when he sees the baby, he's just holding it because he's in disbelief. 1, because it's a child, but 2, it's a stillborn. Mabel, she's one of the overseers. So whenever someone has a kid or is about to have a kid, she's there. She's helping deliver the babies, and she's actually helping take. She teaches them how to latch on. She's teaching everybody how to pretty much be the mother. Now, what she's telling Moses is, hey, you need to go get the doctor now because the baby may be a stillborn, but your wife is going to bleed out unless we get a doctor in here to stop it. And Moses, he's upset, so he storms up out of there. Moses runs off with that baby, and he's holding it like a football, a loaf of bread. He's just sprinting out of there because he's hurt. I mean, there's nothing else to say about it. He's hurt. Mabel actually went looking for the child. We know Moses ran out of the house with the child, but we don't know where he put the child. So Mabel actually went and found it. And a couple of the people from within the little town, I mean, not the town, but the plantation that they live on, they all come out, and the best thing that they can do is at least give the baby a proper burial. So they all come out and they bury the child, but they need to get back because they're not supposed to be out this late and this far away from all of the cabins. But at least they are showing respect to this child and at least burying it properly. Just like I said, these slave masters, they don't care. She just had a stillborn. The next day, she's back outside working in the field, hot. We don't even know if the doctor came and actually looked at her. So Mabel actually comes over and she's expecting over, and she's telling her, your breasts are going to hurt because your milk is coming in, but she's just making sure that she's good. We even see a young Cora, and what she tells Cora is, hey, keep filling her bag for her because we don't want it to seem like she wasn't working. Even though she needs medical assistance, she still needs to be working. So she has Cora start filling her bag for her. The plantation overseer and Moses, they come up to Mabel and they like, hey, come with us. She's like, where are we going? He said, what'd you say? But she was just asking because she has young Cora. She needs to know, okay, if we're going to be leaving, I need to leave Cora with somebody. But what happened is there's another plantation, the Hicks plantation. One of the slaves had babies, twins, by a big old black guy. So, the stronger the male is, they assume that that's how the kids are going to be. Now, Moses says we're in luck because this is God's plan. What they're going to do is take Polly down there. And Polly's going to be actually the mother that's going to be giving the milk to these 2 twins. Now, they don't have a wet nurse, and that's where Mabel comes in because we know Mabel has the skills and she knows how to attend to a child because, of course, she raised Cora. So they're going to take her and Polly over there, and Mabel's going to watch out for Polly to breastfeed these 2 kids. They get down to this house. Polly, she's still hurt because of her child. Now, there's 2 twins here that she's going to have to actually nurse. Cora's mom, Mabel, she's in here and she's supposed to help Polly go through these steps because Polly's never done anything. One thing we do notice, Moses starts taking a liking to these 2 children. He goes over, he touches the twins, and he's looking at them because he just had his child pass away. Now, Mabel tells him, hey, you need to get out of here so we can go ahead and start this. And what she does is she starts to examine Polly's breast to see how the nipples are, to make sure that these children can latch on to that. So she's really helping out a lot. Now, this isn't uncommon. You've seen this a lot. You even seen it with slave masters. Their children would be breastfed by one of the black slaves because that lady was actually the one watching over the children day to day and tending to them. So this isn't uncommon to see that one slave is breastfeeding another slave's children if they passed, or the slave master's kids. Cora and Mabel, they in the bed. Cora knocked out, but Mabel, she's up thinking, because she's just looking at all this like, man, how is all of this even possible? Why is this going on? The overseer comes to Mabel and says, hey, I know you like being a midwife better than working in the field, but that's Moses' wife, and Moses is going to take care of them. Now, Moses, he's more respected amongst the white people than any of the other blacks, because he's the right-hand man to the overseer. He's pretty much the one that, hey, get y'all butts in line. So what the overseer is saying, hey, you're going to go back to that field and you're going to have to work, because Moses is going to take care of his girl and the 2 kids, because she knows how to feed the kids now. So there's no need for you in wasting a body in the field. As you can see, the babies, they actually moved into the cabin with Moses and Polly. And Moses is telling Mabel straight up, hey, all right, we got this here. Going back out in the field. We good here. And Boston cleared out everybody. So it's just me, Polly, and the kids. Ain't no new fresh niggas in here. So we won't get no sickness from that outside. And Mabel's like, all right, well, at least let me get my stuff out of here and then I'll go. Polly's mind at this point is very fragile. Mabel asks her, are you all right? And she's like, yeah, I'm good. My babies are good. Moses wants to get married and have more kids. And Mabel's looking at her like, your kids? These aren't your kids. You're just nursing them. And as soon as they can stand up and walk, they're getting sold. These kids are worth more than us. They know who their lineage is, who their father was. They're going to sell these kids as soon as they're old enough to walk and do anything. So don't get attached to them. And Polly's like, get out of here, Mabel. No, these are my kids. And Mabel's like, oh man, she's losing it. Moses got these 2 twins. He got his own cabin now. Him and Polly, they out there, they doing the best. And for him, he's saying, this is God's plan. We got us a good thing over here. And who is he looking at with that whip? He's looking directly at Mabel. And girl, get your ass to work and leave me and mine be. It's the middle of the day. He walks back to his cabin to check on Polly to see how her and the kids are doing. But when he goes in, he comes back out and he drops down on his knees, and you just hear loud crying and sobbing. So now everyone's wondering what's going on over there. Why is Moses crying? Moses is one of the strongest blacks out here. He don't do no crying. Everyone hears the crying. So of course, Mabel, she's going over there to see what's really going on. Now, Cora's following her because that's her mom. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't have any other friends out here. She's just going to follow her mom. Cora, go home. And Cora's like, but mama, and she slaps her because she knows if Moses is crying for something like that, it's got to be something very, very serious. And Cora doesn't need to see this. So she slaps Cora and tells her to go home. And one of the other, the elderly woman come over and she's like, come on, Cora, let's get on out of here. Because you know it takes a village to raise a child. Mabel gets in there and she sees Polly laying on the bed, and it looks like Polly may have killed herself and the 2 children because it was a lot on her mind. So for Mabel, she's seeing this and she told the overseer, I needed to be there with her because her mind is very fragile right now. She just lost a child and then you're giving her 2 children. That's a lot. That's a lot. Now look at this. The overseer takes Moses and they go ahead and put him on this log stake. And they're going to have another slave whip him. And the reason for this is because Moses told them that him and Polly were going to take care of these 2 kids and they were going to raise them. And now that Polly killed herself and the 2 children, they were more concerned about the money they were going to make off of these 2 kids. They're going to whoop Moses because he didn't protect these 2 children. They have another slave whip them just to show people, hey, this is how we run things around here. Now, the guy, he was kind of taking it easy at first. He wasn't whipping like he was supposed to. And the overseer said, either you whip him like you're supposed to, or I'm going to let Moses whip you. This is how they do it. This is what's messing with people's mental. Now, everyone always says, oh, I would have did this. You wouldn't have done nothing. You would have whipped him harder because you didn't want the repercussions of not whipping him the correct way. Because if you didn't, they're just going to come down and they'll get rid of you. You're replaceable. Now they send Mabel over to the house to clean it up. Moses isn't there. So after they whip Moses, not only do they whip him, they tie him up, laying down on the ground with his hands behind his legs, and they're going to keep him there overnight for more punishment. Now Mabel, she goes in here and she has to start getting all the blood off the covers and off of this wooden floor. Mabel's in there scrubbing, and all she's doing is having flashbacks of seeing the bodies on the bed. And at some point, you know people are going to break. It's inevitable. When you have this kind of trauma and you just witnessed this, and then you just seen someone get whipped for something that they didn't have any control over, your mind, it's a fragile thing. You got to really take care of your mental. Mabel stops scrubbing and she gets up and she starts thinking, man, I can't live like this. This has got to be something better than this. So she walks out the front door, walks on behind the house, and she's leaving this plantation. And this is how they have Moses laid outside in the middle of the plantation so everyone can see him and know not to mess up. It's just sad and disgusting, man. It's just terrible. Now, Mabel, she's out here hightailing it. But one thing I will say is, now, we all thought that Mabel knew about the Underground Railroad. Well, it doesn't look like she knows about any of that. She just one day in the middle of the day, no plan, she just got up out of there. It wasn't that she ran away from Cora. It's just she had enough, man. She's been through so much. She just got up and left. And we see young Cora. She came over to the house to see if her mom was in there. You still got the bucket of water there, the rags. She just sits on the stairs because she doesn't know where her mom is. Maybe Mabel's going to come back. Maybe she went to do something else. But she's sitting here waiting on her mom. The same swamps that we seen Caesar and Cora walking through are the same swamps that Mabel walked through. So they were following the same path. The only difference is Caesar knew about an Underground Railroad. Mabel, she's just getting out of here. She's just trying to get as far away from this plantation. Whatever happens, happens, but I can't be there. Now, everything foreshadows itself. If you remember, Cora seen a snake eating a frog. Now, with her mom, on the other hand, she's walking through the swamp and she actually kind of stumbles and puts her hand on the log. And she gets bit by the snake that looks just like the snake Cora seen eating the frog. Now, this is interesting. It appears that this is a poisonous snake. So now it just shows Mabel, she's losing all of her energy and she sits down by one of the trees, because when that venom gets up in you, there's really nothing you can do. Especially back then, I'm sure they didn't have any anti-venom, or she didn't even try to take it out of her. So at this point, it looks like this may be the end of Mabel. Maybe she didn't run away and get as far as what Ridgeway thought she did. Everyone thought, oh, she knew where the Underground Railroad was. She made it far away from here. It doesn't look like she made it any further than the swamp. And here we see her dress in the swamp, just the top part of it that's floating. So the rest of the body must be up under the water. Mabel actually didn't make it any further than the swamp. So Cora and Caesar, they actually went further than when Mabel went. And this whole time, Ridgeway was on the move. Oh man, let me get Cora. Let me go find her mom. She was in the swamps, dead. They transitioned us down into the Underground Railroad. You know, this is the same tunnel where Ridgeway died. They left Homer. And it's Molly and Cora. Now, they're on a hand car. And if you don't know what a hand car is, if you ever watch any cartoons, it's two people on there and they pumping and you're going down the train track. So they're going down this train track. You remember Royal told them this part isn't finished. So it just goes down there in a narrow path. So they're getting as far away, and they don't know where they're going, but they're getting as far away from where they were in Indiana. And this actually leads them into an open cave out in the middle of the woods. We don't know where they are, but this is a massive cave entrance. All I can tell you is Molly and Cora, they're far away from anybody. It's not civilized out here. Molly said doing all of the fighting, she found Cora's little bag. You know, the little bag that kept all the okra in it. So she hands it to her. And I told you, this bag of okra is like Cora's, how could you say it? Like her stress reliever, her comfort. So when she has this, because this is all she had left from her mom. Remember, she dug it up. This is all she has left. Now, these two have no idea where they're at. They have no idea where they're going. And Cora got that limp. They just fell from the ladder. Remember the ladder, 100, 200 feet? They fell. She fell on top of Ridgeway, and her leg is all messed up. And I know the pain because I got arthritis in my right hip, man. It ain't no joke. But they're limping, and they're getting to wherever they got to get. They're walking around. Of course, they're hungry. Molly's talking about, I'm hungry. Now Cora's doing her best. She's like, all right, hold on, we'll try to find something. We'll, you know what I'm saying, give me a second, let me figure this out. But they also find a tree, and what they do with this tree is Cora digs a hole. She actually puts this bag of okra in it. The only thing I can say about this is it's signifying this is the end. This is her leaving her past behind and trying to move forward and figure out what we're going to do from here, because she's been carrying this around. And if you remember, she did say, I'm nobody's good luck, but she always had that on her. So I feel like her luck is going to change once she actually get rid of this okra, because every time she's had it, something bad has happened. Now there is a wooden shelter, little tin shelter, and they're in it and they're just looking, is there anything in here we can use? But they hear some horses and a wagon coming. Cora sticks her head out. She sees it's a black man, so now she can be like, okay, let me go see what this guy is on. Let me at least see if he has anything that we can use. Now this man's name is Ollie, and he looks at them and you can tell they're tired, they're dirty, there's nothing out here. So wherever they came from, I know they're exhausted. They don't have no food in their hands, they don't have any water. So he offers them water and he starts to talk to Cora, and he just, okay, where you guys from? Who are you? Now one thing about Ollie, he tells me straight up, I promise you guys, I don't mean no harm. What I'm doing is I'm heading west to California. I'm going through Missouri. I'm gonna stop in St. Louis. I got some people. St. Louis, 3 hours from the house, you know what I'm saying? I'm Kansas City, Missouri. So the STL, the gateway to the west, you know what I'm saying? But he's looking at them and like, hey, and if y'all want, y'all can come with me, because it ain't nothing out here. There's some water. If y'all want to roll, let me know. He puts them in the wagon. That's what black folk need to do. We need to look out for other black folk. Puts them in the wagon, gives them some water, got some bread and stuff. If y'all get cold, there's a blanket up under that seat. Y'all go ahead and use it. We got us a long ride. Cora, Molly, they ride on into the sunset with Mr. Ollie. Now, I don't know if we're going to get a season 2 from this, but I could see them giving us a season 2 where they're actually traveling west. I don't know how it will play out, but it will be a good thing. But one thing we do know is Cora made it. All right, there you go. Episode 10, the finale of the Underground Railroad. I'm going to be honest with you. I think with Mabel, they could have gave us that in episode 1 and showed us why she left. So we didn't have to wait this long for it, because to me personally, this finale was kind of dead. It was kind of slow to me, I don't know if y'all feel like that. Let me know what y'all think. But also, I will say Cora, she wasn't nobody's good luck. She got what, 5, 6 bodies on her? Man, let me see. We had Lovey, Caesar, Jasper, shoot, I don't even know what happened to Grace. Grace is just on a train riding somewhere. Then she killed Ridgeway. Oh man, it's a lot. But there you go, episode 10. Let me know what y'all think. I'm J. If you like the content on the channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I'm out.
Jimmy on the beat, boy.